Hey everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. I'm here with Tara and the disembodied voice of Andrew. He occasionally shows up on the TV when we need him. Today we're talking about rollbacks.
Yes.
Which this is one where I don't think you need it a lot, but when it becomes mandatory, you really need to be able to do this.
You really need it.
So I guess overall for the basics, if software or Windows updates has a 0-day or a known vulnerability from that update, if there is no workaround or an existing patch, to keep yourself safe, you need to go back to the last stable version that doesn't have the vulnerability.
Can you describe 0-day, please? I always wondered exactly what it means.
So 0-day is basically the one where when the information of that exploit is launched, that's how much time you have to get it fixed, basically, because everything's at risk. To get the label of 0-day, it usually has to be reachable from remote, wormable, no user interaction, no credentials. So you can get like on the CVSS, race, these type of things. 9.8, which is about as close as you can get, and there's some where they've labeled it 9.8 where I think they're being very nice to themselves. Where 10.0 basically means an attacker needs nothing to get into your environment and they can spread like wildfire. And so those are the worst of the worst. We've seen a lot less of those because the way patching has been reported by Microsoft has changed. They used to give a whole lot more information, and now they limit the information.
Because the hackers see it.
It's good and bad because now if people want to exploit what is being patched, that takes more research. But the downside is it's harder for sysadmins to see exactly what needs to be fixed.
Okay, thank you. It's kind of like the opposite of what it actually says, interestingly.
But yeah, it's just because it's one of those things where you don't want to spend any time to get it fixed. It's
like, hurry.
Yeah, it's that bad.
Okay. So software updates gone awry. There's a couple things we can do, right?
Yeah. So
rollback. In
general with rollback, it's kind of a misnomer. The main one is uninstall in such a way that you don't delete the user data that goes with it.
They kind of like that
then
stuff.
Install a newer version. There is some software where you can go through and do a rollback just manually without needing to do the uninstall. Office 365 is a good example for that one.
Okay.
So with that one, if you're using their customization tool where you build your installer, you can build the configuration file where you have target version here. And if you have just the previous version, run it instead of with install, I think it's /config and then point to this XML file.
Now you're in VS Code right now.
VS Code, but this is just an XML file that I've generated. Point to this one, and then that will roll it back for you to a later version. It's nice when that's done, but in my experience, that's far less often.
Okay.
So more importantly, if you are going to uninstall and reinstall an older version, make sure you're not doing an uninstall that deletes the user data.
Yeah. They kind of tend to get mad about that, right?
Yeah, because then you're not really rolling back. You're installing a different product.
Yeah, that makes them angry. Okay, so I obviously could do it manual, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and that's just
the hard way.
With the AppWiz CPL, just right-click, but no one wants to go to machines.
No, we don't want to.
One quick way is in inventory, if you go to applications, we grab by default this uninstall string.
Okay.
So from that, if you right-click on it, you can create a package that has the uninstall, or you can just click the uninstall once it's going to pop up the custom tool.
But that's one by one. I don't want to do that, right?
Well, so it depends.
Okay.
So if you have something like the Discord one, where it's just the update.exe with those flags, that one you can run against all of them because usually it's just going to be the uninstall file.
Oh, okay.
If it's something where it's an MSI, where it has a GUID that you're calling, that's going to work for that specific version only.
So be careful.
Yeah, so if you're doing a mass install of, say, Google Chrome, then the GUID that you use is for that specific version. But in the case of if only one GUID version is the one that's at risk, just if you have a computer with that, you can use that and send it to all the machines that have that at risk, and it's going to uninstall all of them.
Okay. So I got to be really careful if I have an MSI because GUID's very important.
Yep. And there's also a chance that the uninstall string doesn't always include the silent parameters with that one. In that case, you might have to manually. So if this one has it, but if we create a package from that one.
Okay, so I'm going to right-click, create package.
Yeah, so on that one, you may need to manually come in and add the silent parameters there.
But this one has it,
yeah,
so I don't need to. Okay.
I didn't want to sift through all of them. But so there is a chance if it's not an MSI. If it's MSI, it's the same no matter what. We're going to add that for you. If it's non-MSI, then you may have to do some research on what the silent parameter for uninstall is.
But the manufacturer usually will tell me what that is, right? I just go find it.
Yeah, it's going to be in the documentation somewhere.
Okay.
So after the removal, we do want to go in and we're just going to do 7-zip because it's on top. But I need to scroll to the top now. Boy, I didn't save any time with this. So if you come down here, you have the versions. So if 7-zip is your risk point, first of all, that is fascinating. Congratulations on achieving that. But the other one is we have older versions already ready for download. So as a one-time thing, if you do the uninstall, you can come in and just hit download the old version.
Okay, so 23 is bad. I want 22. I can just download.
Download that one. So that one's not going to auto-update in the future like the other ones. But when the new version is patched, then we will update it on our side. And so you can still use your schedule for that one.
Okay.
Another thing for uninstall, which I kind of skipped over, is if it's in our library, we oftentimes have an uninstall package that's pre-built for you.
So I should probably start there.
Yeah, search there. If it's in the package library and we have the uninstall, it's going to save you some time.
Yeah.
See if I can't actually download it.
Okay, so I'm going to go look and see if I have it first. Just save myself some time, see if they've already made it, because why not? I like easy.
Yeah,
why not?
so, and this goes through, and if there's extra steps, and you just want to make sure with our uninstall, because we can be very thorough with that. If one of these steps is one that looks like it's removing the user data, the customer data, then you want to go and take that step out.
Well, also, you want to test it, right? Yeah. You want to test it on one machine or a lab before you make everyone in your environment super mad at you.
Yep. It's one of, so unfortunately, like I said, we're calling it the rollback, which there are some cases which showcase, but mostly you're uninstalling and reinstalling.
Yeah.
So just leave what's there, make it as seamless as possible, but that's kind of, in my opinion, that's the best.
Yeah. Just be careful.
Yeah.
Well, you're only going to do it 1 or 2 times, and then people will scream at you, and then you'll learn, right? Okay.
Exactly. I mean, how angry can they get, right?
Pretty angry. Okay.
So that one, if you're not looking to do a full rollback, then generally what you're looking for is some sort of workaround.
Yeah.
So in this case, if 7-zip's exploit is it's listening on TC port 1801, and they can get into that. That's on my brain from this patch Tuesday for the message queue. But in this case for 7-zip, you can go in and temporarily either disable the service that's running that one or stop those machines from listening on that port.
Yeah.
And then you're still secure until the patch comes. You just have to make sure you go through and undo that after.
Yeah.
So oftentimes when there is a 0 day, within a couple of hours, there usually is a mitigation that you can try. So if you're not looking to do a full uninstall, reinstall, there is something you can do. But just know when the final patch does come through, you may have to undo any workarounds that you've done.
Right. Just keep track of what you've done, right? Because as you're listening, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that. I forgot that. I forgot that. Okay. Yeah. Or we forgot to say there's a blog that's detailing everything we're talking about.
Yes.
That's included in the description. So you can follow along what he's talking about. You don't need to remember all this, right?
And you're going to throw it in the chat here.
We don't want to remember stuff. It's too hard. Yeah. Okay. Also, or we just accept the risk, right?
This is the worst.
All right. Is it? You sit at your desk and you're like, well, we're going to see what happens now. Yeah. Let's see.
Except the rest basically says, I'm going to ignore this until a solution comes through. And, in the grand scheme of things, you're probably not as likely to be attacked in this scenario, but why open yourself up to that risk? So accepting the risk is possibility. How
high a number would you feel safe doing that with? Or is that like a pretty high depend? Like 9.8? Are you going to do it? Or are you like, no, I'm not doing that?
I imagine if there's anything that's critical that comes through, I'm going to patch or fix it. So when you go in there, with the CVS score, like Microsoft, they also have another rating for likely to be exploited, which can let you know factors like how complex is it to use or does it have non-standard settings. If it's less likely and it's, I don't want to give a number, but if I go through and look for it and like it does require user interaction or things of that nature, then I might not, but I'm pretty paranoid on security. So I probably would no matter what.
No matter what?
Not anything that's listed as critical, I'm probably going to try to get that patched as soon as possible.
You know what I'm thinking of for some reason? I don't know why. Legacy phone systems, honestly. Not that they're highly exploitable, but that might be one where I'm like, I'm just going to see what happens. Because they're such a pain.
I guess, and that's why there is no direct answer. There's many factors that go into it that you have to decide on your own. But if it's a common use system that is relatively easy to exploit, every time.
Every time.
If it's one where I have to have X service running for it to be a threat or anything, I'm less concerned.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So we've done mostly software.
Mostly software. Well, we didn't actually talk about making the collection, though. Should we do that?
Okay.
Should we just talk about how? So you showed how to make the uninstaller, find the uninstaller. Should we target it? Just make it easy?
All right. So first I have to leave deploy.
Okay.
Apparently I got Bugs Bunny open.
That's your favorite.
All right. So for a lot of the software, I mean, this is done for you. Like, say if there's I'll use Chrome again. If you have the Chrome and you know the latest has the exploit, anything that's in the latest is a risk. As you notice, we haven't patched anything, so we're safe.
Good. That's good. We should tell everybody this is an isolated domain. We're okay. Oh, we're such good teachers.
So in that case, there is the latest. If it is one where it's not quite that, or you need to fine tune it more, you can use it as an example with the collection where we have the pre-built application version, where you can change the version to be change the comparison to be less than or equals to an exact version you know is not safe. So you can copy this down. What is that? Right click. What is it? Duplicate. There we go. Alt insert is the shortcut, and I'll put it down there. And then from there, if you know there's a specific version that you're looking for, I'm just going to come into old for some reason. You can come in here and say version loader, then you can do equals and hard code in the one you know is bad.
Yeah.
And that's going to give you a list of everyone that you know for a fact is at risk.
Yeah.
Because there's also a thing with our automatic collections. If there is one that has an exploit, we're going to remove the installer from our library and we're going to roll back collections to what should be latest. So if you've already updated, then it is worth knowing to go look for that specific version.
Cool. That's cool. Okay. So just save time, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we did software.
We did software.
Anything else? Any cool tricks for software? We're moving on to Windows updates.
We're going to do Windows Update.
Okay, let's do it.
So we're going to open up the...
When Windows updates go awry.
In fact, there's a question that might be relevant to where you're going.
Let's see it.
All right. Hey, folks, can we do a silent uninstall of a specific Windows update, such as KB123456788? Sincerely, Cool Hand Luke B.
Indeed, we can. All right, so I just opened up the appwiz.cpo, and then there's a button you can click on for view installed updates.
You're doing it the hard way. Okay.
Yeah, these are all the updates. Which is
I'm writing it down.
We're giving the idea. These are just all the updates, and let's say this one, 502.8856, is deemed to be at risk.
It's a bad one.
Yeah, so you can uninstall it manually, and with
But
Windows
why?
updates, uninstalling the patch really is a rollback. It's the way they treat that. So you can do it manually, but that's every machine again. But so the question on this one is, can we track and fix based on that specific one?
Yep.
And this may surprise you, but I'm going to use PowerShell.
I am shocked.
All right, so the first thing I need to do is build a new scanner.
A
And,
PowerShell scanner, of course.
Yep, and let's hope I deleted I'm going to see if I actually deleted the one that I built yesterday. Where's my scanners?
Somewhere.
Because I know I'm supposed to.
You didn't. That's right. Oh my gosh, Jordan, get it together.
All right, that's
Jeez.
okay. We're going to go in there.
Okay.
All right, so the PowerShell on this one that I'm using to track it down is git-hotfix, and then just where object for the ID for the KB we're looking for. And that's it.
Okay.
And then once you build that, you go through, you scan your entire environment with the one that I already made.
And this is going to be looking for that KB existing on any computer.
Yeah, so any computer
Right?
that has that specific KB is now going to fill out the information.
Okay.
As you'll notice in that one, I did break the best practices we talked about just a few weeks ago,
How dare you?
where I'm grabbing everything this returns, and as we're going to see, it's a lot.
So too much data?
And really what I should be doing is grabbing only the specific field that I want.
Oh, okay. So how do you make that better?
Well, you'd have to do, let's see here. Select object. And then I believe it's hotfix ID is the name of it. Would grab the specific one. Whatever the field
okay.
is, that's all I'm grabbing there. So I'm grabbing just that one piece of information.
Oh, so your syntax was just too vague, too general.
I basically said, hey, does it have it? And then grab everything. Where that is not at all best practice because you're bloating your
causing
database at
unnecessary
that point,
traffic.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, so we're going to come back in the top, and now that we have the data from the scan, we're going to go to the new dynamic collection. And
I would do dynamic because I don't need Oh, no, never mind.
Yeah,
Never
we
mind.
wanted to update it so when we remove.
Yep.
So PowerShell bad KB, that's the one that we built.
Yep.
And then we don't want name. See, and this is all the fields that it grabs. This is why it was a bad idea.
Oh, that's why that's kind of a lot.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so we're looking for hotfix ID. I did have the right one. And then contains that KB that I've already forgotten.
Which is 502-8856.
KB, you said 502-8856.
8856.
All right, and we're just going to do equals because we know that one is.
Let's see if I wrote it down correctly. I don't have faith, really, but we're going to see.
All right. And run that. And you did write it down correctly.
Yes, go me.
You go.
So this is going to give you a collection. This is everyone that has the KB that you are concerned about
Okay.
removing.
So now I have my targets.
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question here, Jordan?
Yes.
So what would be the advantage of using a PowerShell script scanner and then creating a collection based on that rather than using the hotfixes table in PDQ inventory?
Well, the advantage would be you have a better thought process than me. So
He likes PowerShell.
So my default is if I need a specific piece of data, I'm going to go build a PowerShell scanner first and grab what I want. And the first thing I should do is I should come in and say, do we already capture that information?
Look, Tim already said that.
Yeah.
Tim and Andrew are buddies.
Yeah. So
hotfix is a better way.
this one, inventory is already collecting the data. But like I said, if I need something, if I don't know right off the bat that it's already stored in inventory, and we store a lot, then I'll just go and build the PowerShell scanner, which is inefficient because it's already in there.
It's already there.
So
there's actually two ways to get what you want.
and one that doesn't require a custom scanner. So we're going to come in and change this to hotfix. What are we looking for here? Version. I'm going to
Let's
go back to the table before instead of just guessing.
Okay.
Name. Name it is. So in this one, it'd be the hotfix name equals, and it's going to be the same thing, and we shouldn't see any change there. Yeah, it's the exact same.
So you just eliminate out a step because you don't need the PowerShell scanner. So it's just more efficient.
I really need to start asking as the first point of, do we already capture the data? I don't think this is the first time I've done this, so that's fun.
You just showed a different way.
Yep. All right. So yes, don't waste time with PowerShell. Just use what's built in, and that's going to be nice.
Okay, I like it.
All right. So let's go to the removal.
Okay.
And I realized we actually skipped over one of our uninstall options.
How dare you?
We can circle back around after.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So this one is in a blog that Brock wrote and just reuse. I'm
Brock.
borrowing
Okay.
his information in here. So this is something you can put you can build as a package, run as a PowerShell step. So the first part does, it grabs all the updates all the Windows packages that are listed as updates. And then he's listing basically a list of KBs. So most likely is going to be a single KB that you have the issue with. But if there are multiple, he has here where he's separated by a pipe, which if you use the match filter is OR. So if you put in multiples here, or, all the KBs, if it finds any of those, it's going to be just fine.
Okay.
In this case, where we have the collection where we've already fine-tuned down to these are the ones that need it removed, you could just come straight in and just do the remove Windows package, specifying that. But just for more of a broad sense, because I like the safety and security, we're sticking with this.
I'm kind of surprised you leave those extra pipes in there. That doesn't cause problems because it ignores it because you commented it out. It doesn't care.
Well, they're not commented out. It's just doesn't equal anything.
So it's going to ignore it.
You can't come in and just remove those.
But it's not going to bother it.
Yeah, because down here the match. Ooh,
oh no!
I deleted the. Here we go. We're fixed.
Now it's angry.
So if you come down here with the match, it's going to look at each one of those as an OR statement. So by removing everything except for the one, it just ignores the OR and it says it's this one.
How much time does it waste? So just curious to look through that. Is it milliseconds?
Not a lot, because this one up here is where it's grabbing the entire list and then it's comparing this variable versus that list. And that list isn't extensive. It's milliseconds saved.
Okay.
All right. So now the next part is for each one is going to go in here, and if the object description, and this is important for the description because that's where it contains the KB. So if we run just the first line here, let's run all of it first.
Okay.
I'm not running as an administrator.
I love these moments.
Boy, I am killing it today.
That's a problem.
I love these things. Doing it live, Jordan. We're doing it live.
I'll get there.
I've been clicking my pen. I'm really surprised that Kelly hasn't yelled at me. I've done it like 4 times. Can you believe he hasn't yelled at me over that?
Why are you trying to push my buttons?
I don't know.
you know.
Because it's funny. I don't know. I just, it's like really fulfilling for me to do it. I don't know why.
All right, now that we're in there.
Okay, now we got it going. Let's do it. Now let's do it, Jordan.
All right, so we're in there. All right, so if we just run this first part here, just to see the results.
Now it's mad at the argument.
Well, no, it's because I didn't run the for each.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't want to run the whole thing, so I'm just going to comment out the part that I don't. Just because I'm kind of showcase what the results look like and run it as the for each. And see, since we didn't do the define anything, it's going to all of them. But in here, if we look for it, the description, fix for KB there. And that for those, it always is going to say that, which is why for his commented section here, uncommented, it's looking at the description and it matches. So that description contains that KB. And if so, it removes it.
Okay.
So if we run that, which I believe the KB we picked is the monthly update for this one where we had 132 exploits with 9 critical and 6 publicly known. So rolling this back is a terrible idea, but I've never let it stop me before.
Let's do it. It sounds awful. Let's see what happens. Let's break the whole lab. I hope Josh is watching.
So,
Oh, he's watching.
so we're going to come in. It's just going to be a PowerShell step. I'm going to paste that in there. Maybe.
To be fair, whenever I'm going to do something in the lab and I ask Josh and I'm nervous about it, he's like, go ahead, do it. He doesn't care. I'm the one that's nervous, not Josh.
He dares you to.
He does. He literally does.
There you go. So we have it in there, and I have the hard-coded part of it. I guess I should name it just because I like to keep it original. I'm going to go bad KB again.
I like it.
All right, so now we are going to run this against the 3 machines that we have recently patched for a pretty severe Patch Tuesday.
Okay, let's see what happens. I'm excited. So our chart is going to be...
So inventory, I'm going to go, and I'm just going to run it against the collection we built.
Yep. Using Andrew's far superior method, right?
It is far superior. All right, so while that's running, since that is a pretty major update, I don't know how long this is going to take. Do you have any questions that came in?
We have one question we can hit, somewhat off topic, but here you go. Does PDQ inventory scan for proxy settings? Mikey B.
So I don't know if it does by default
But you might have something.
for proxy settings.
Well, you said you scan for anything the computer would pick up. Does it pick that up?
Yeah, so that's... I don't think we grab anything by proxy settings by default. I'm hoping Andrew can come in and tell me if I'm way off base there.
By default, I don't think so. I'm trying
Yeah.
to look to see if I have anything in our ticketing system for it.
So where we don't have it by default, if it's something that's stored either in WMI, registry, or PowerShell, you can build a custom scanner that will go and pull in those proxy settings. That is an area of PowerShell I'm not familiar with. I don't think I could do it on the fly because I'd spend more time looking up what PowerShell commands grab that than actually writing the PowerShell. But so by default, we do not. I am sure the PowerShell scanner can do it because that thing can do everything and I love it. It can even do things that it doesn't even need to do. Just ask earlier in the webcast. Okay, well,
Yeah, so it looks like
Go ahead.
it looks like it's a registry setting, HKCU, so you'll have to scan as current user, but software, Microsoft Windows current version, internet settings. And there's proxy is what it is. Proxy, I think, in proxy server.
Okay. All right, so it looks like it did complete. So let's go make sure that we did remove it. I'm going to go back to the updates. And that, what was the one? Let's pull back.
502-8856. Oh, no, that's not the one you did.
No,
You
it
did
was.
Oh, that was. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so yeah, what do you say? 502-8856.
Yep.
And it is now, so it is back to last month. So we have successfully rolled back a very critical Patch Tuesday update.
Sweet.
Hooray.
Hooray for
Yay,
you.
us.
This doesn't feel
We're
like
the
the win that
best.
it should be.
Nothing broke.
But so it is that simple. So the collection, easier than I made it. It's already built in. It's a one-liner. To build the collection, to uninstall there's a blog, hopefully put the link to it, that Brock wrote.
Yeah, that's script.
The PowerShell I ran was just ripped directly from it. I just manually put in the KB.
Yeah.
So everything you need for updates and KBs is in there. It's just that one, I don't think it's very common anymore, especially where they don't report full data, that's going to be necessary, but it's still a nice tool to have in your belt.
But like you said, when you need it, you really need it. All right, so question, Jordan. Can we do this in Connect too?
Yes.
Should we?
Yes. So
let's do.
Are we even logged in to Connect? Oh, thank goodness.
Yes, we are.
I did something correct.
Yes.
All right. So for the removal, you can build custom packages that have a PowerShell step. So the PowerShell we have there is the exact same. The part is, this one is how do we track down the ones we're looking for?
Yeah. How do we build the groups, right?
So I'm going to go into the only machine that's online, apparently.
They're sleeping.
All right. So in that one, we do have Windows updates, and there is no clear cut. It's just that KB. Where is my expand? There we are.
It's hiding from you.
But at the end, it does see it has it in there.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case,
we have to go find them that way.
Grab those ones. We're going to go back to devices and hit filter.
Okay.
And devices, Windows updates. Once again, I didn't look at the name. Was it update description?
Yeah, well, that's all you have. So
Update title. Well, I'm going to go back in.
Okay, let's make
It's
sure.
title.
It is title.
Andrew's paying attention. Good.
It's name.
I didn't see name. Did you?
I didn't.
On the filter.
Let's go back into it.
Okay, let's find out.
All right, filter. Trying this again. We are using Windows Update. And, it's not in there.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, we're going to do
Let's do title.
title contains
Bam.
that one. Apply it. And there it is. Okay.
Andrew was
that one
always
works.
right. Look at him go.
Why
He's
do
so
we even doubt him?
smart. I don't know.
So with that one, with Connect, you can build this one. I just hit apply, so the filter will go away once I click off and back on. But if you hit save as group, you can say, I'm going to go back to bad KB due to my lack of originality.
Yeah.
And that will build one down there that you have in there. And then you can do the same thing, build the PowerShell package that does the uninstall, run it against that collection, and it will work the same way against your remote machines.
Okay. So that's awesome. I love that.
Me too. You have any other questions?
We do. We do have a question from the mighty Tim. Are you ready? Care to do a quick run through of an uninstall which requires a custom MST? So using Orca or something similar to create the MST?
So I don't think I even have Orca installed on this machine. If I recall it, you have to install a certain set of tools, and Orca is included in it. So a quick run through I could not do on this one, but overall for what the question is looking for is if you do have some sort of like an MSI file, Orca goes in there and you can customize all of the filters. There's more in there than you expect for an MSI, but if you know specifically what type of update you're looking for, you can use that to go into the MSI and build a brand new one that has the customization one in there. But even if I had it installed, I wouldn't be comfortable with my ability to do it successfully live because I don't spend a lot of time in there. But maybe that's one that's worth doing.
Maybe we should do a video. Should we do a video on
I
that?
say we should just try it. What could go wrong? Really?
I would first have to Google what has Orca in it.
You even have Orca?
Yeah, on this
No, he
machine I
doesn't
don't.
have
Yeah,
it.
so you have to install a certain. I can't even remember what the
We'll do it next time, Tim.
pack is to get Orca. It would require a lot of research. So quickly, can I do it? No. I know what he's referencing. There's other tools that can do it, but if you want to do customization for an installer, Orca is your best bet for that.
We could show Tim in person because he is coming out to the office the end of the month for our customer appreciation event,
All right.
which
you
is
go.
going to happen on the 27th. And we're very much looking forward to that, Tim.
Okay. All right. Well, now that we seem to enter the phase of IT where if we don't acknowledge the risk, then it's not real. We see less of the things where, this is critical, we should patch it right away. But that lets you know if something says, this is really bad, then it's really bad. So having the tools in your belt to make sure your environment is secure is important. So hopefully this helps everyone keep it safe as possible. Don't use it to uninstall critical updates like I did, and you're good to go. For PDQ, I'm Jordan.
I'm Tara.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. If you like what you've seen, just like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us your comments. If you have additional questions, reach out to our support team, or hey, join us on Discord, because that, my friends, is a good time. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here next time.